Thank you for listening to the SavePoint podcast. Please consider subscribing at youtube.com/SavePointVids. Follow us at SavePointVids on all major social media platforms for up-to-the-minute updates on everything SavePointVids related. If you find us entertaining and informative, please leave a thumbs up or a 5-star rating on your platform of choice. Your patronage is very much appreciated, and we could not do this without you. And now, on to the show. Everyone, welcome back to the SavePoint podcast, episode 6, I believe. This episode is going to be all about Google Stadia. They had their Google Stadia Connect this morning, so we're going to break down everything that we saw and kind of give our thoughts and opinions. I, of course, am Josh Taylor, and I have my two brothers, Sean and Chase, here as always. You guys did watch the...
Yeah, we watched it.
So what are your thoughts? What are your surface level thoughts on everything?
Well, the surface level, I think it looks promising.
Yeah.
One question that they answered was how fast your internet speed has to be. Mm-hmm. Because I figured if you're streaming stuff at like 4K 60 frames, you would need a lot more than 35 megabytes a second.
That's what I was thinking too, because ours here is 35.
Is it?
And yeah. I mean, granted, we're paying a little bit more than like the base package, but I figured it'd be a lot higher than 35. Now, if that's gonna, I don't know. In real world settings, I don't know if that's really actually gonna.
That's what I was thinking. And plus, our internet at our house is, it kind of gets spotty sometimes. So.
Ours does too. It's supposed to be 35. It's not 35 consistently.
But Google, they have the technology and the infrastructure to kind of handle all that. I mean, they've been doing stuff like this for a long time, so yeah, I got faith that they can do it. The question I have with Stadia is how big of a foothold is it even going to get with mainstream audiences?
Yeah. Well, let's go over. I took some notes on the conference, so I'm just going to run down everything that we saw, and then after that, we can kind of get more into what we think is actually going to come of this. So it was a pre-recorded Nintendo Direct style conference or presentation. It wasn't a live press conference. They started off by saying that play on your TV with a Chromecast Ultra, your PC, your laptop, tablet, as long as you had a Chrome browser, and then you could play on smartphones starting with their Google Pixel line, and that would expand to more, I'm assuming, iPhone and other Android type of devices later down the line. Uh-huh. They have, Phil Harrison said they have hundreds of publishers. But the first game that we actually saw was Baldur's Gate 3, which, did you guys ever play any of the first two? No. I was going to say, this game does not do a lot. I saw on Twitter, and a lot of people are excited about it. I have no idea. I mean, I know what it is. I have no context for it, and we didn't play it growing up.
Yeah. But Larian Studios, I did play Divinity originally.
Oh, did you? Was that good?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
really good. People top-down RPG, like isometric type.
People were geeking out about that too. I think IGN gave it like a high 9 or something when it came out. It was like a 9.5 or a 9.7. But yeah, like I said, it doesn't do anything for me, but I'm glad people are excited about it. No gameplay. It was just a CG trailer. Then they went into the actual specs that would be the specs that you could stream at. So you can get 4K, HDR, 60 frames a second, 5.1 surround sound. If you have, it's recommended to have at least 35 megabits per second. It can go down to a minimum of 10 megabits, but with that you get, I believe it's just 720p and then 60 frames is what it was, and then 1080p is somewhere in the middle. Again, not as high as I thought. I did see something on Twitter, I can't remember who posted it, that said for the people that have data caps on their internet, that streaming at 4K for 65 hours in a month puts you at 1 terabyte of data.
That's expensive.
And I know a lot of Comcast, we don't have Comcast here where we are in Ohio, but for the people that have Comcast, I know that they have hard data limits, and 1 terabyte is the highest that you can go. So if you're playing only at 4K, an average of 3 hours every day, assuming that you're not doing anything else on the internet. So
true.
No, like, just web browsing, no streaming Netflix or anything like that. If you're just playing games for 3 hours a day at 4K resolution, 65 hours, you'd hit 1 terabyte of at your data cap. So again, that's something that Google can't really control. That's more on Comcast's end, but it is interesting that these specs are great. That you can get that without having to buy a $1,000 PC or a $500 console. But yeah, on the back end, on the actual bandwidth side of it, there still seems to be some limitations. Then they talked about the Stadia controller. They say it's the best way to play. It hooks up to the Chromecast via Wi-Fi to give you.
What is a Chromecast?
It's like a Roku. Oh, okay. It's like a streaming device. It's like a Roku or a Amazon Fire Stick or something.
Gotcha.
It's just Google's branded version of it.
Okay.
But yeah, so the Stadia controller is, they say, of course, they're going to say it's the best way to play.
I doubt it.
I doubt it too. It does support, obviously, the Xbox One and the PS4 controller and other controllers as well. I don't see any reason. They haven't really said with any definitive proof why it's the best way. They said that the input lag is supposed to be nothing, is why, because it is connected via Wi-Fi versus the other ones, I think, are Bluetooth connected.
Okay.
So, I guess if you're playing like a
shooter
thinking, or a
fighting, I was thinking more along like the actual like feel of the controller, the ergonomics. Because I trust Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo. Yeah. They've been making controllers forever, so I was just thinking more like, does Google really know how to actually like design a controller? I'm sure the actual hardware inside the controllers.
Then they talked about Ghost Recon Breakpoint. We saw a CD trailer. Looks pretty cool. Did you guys play Wildlands at all?
No.
Yeah. The last Ghost Recon game I played, honestly, I think was what was the name of it? Ghost Recon, right? No. It was
I haven't played a Ghost Recon.
It was the one that I think launched with 360. It was I can't even remember. It doesn't
Advanced
matter.
Warf?
Yeah,
Advanced Warfighter or something like that.
Warfighter. Yeah. That might actually be it. But anyway, so that was the last one. This one looks really interesting. I like the look and the feel. It's kind of a Rambo-esque. Yeah. Not that you're, fighting yourself, but you're like on an island and you're taking out this paramilitary group that's taking over this island. It looks interesting. I'm sure obviously we'll see more at the Ubisoft conference. But yeah, so the next game that we saw was Guilt. I can't remember who it was by. Let me pull that up here. But it looks really cool. It's got not a Pixar, but yeah, like a Pixar quality. It's like kind of childish. It looks like you're playing the game through the eyes of a child. But were they aliens? Was that what it was?
Just by watching the trailer, for like the art style, me and Chase were saying, it kind of reminded us of like Luigi's Mansion, that kind of like scary, whimsical kind of feel to it. For some reason, because it takes place in a school, it looked like. I saw chalkboards and stuff. I thought maybe it was like maybe it's about a girl who's like has like fears or like is getting picked on at school or something like that. And she's kind of confronting.
It's Tequila Works. So they were the same ones that did Rhyme. But yeah, it looked really cool. It looks like a survival. I wouldn't say survival horror in the traditional sense. It doesn't look gory, but just it looks like you're a child. You're a girl that's maybe 7 or 8, 9, and I think they were aliens. They look like some type of creature, monster alien. But yeah, she's like sneaking through the school. She's trying to avoid being seen. She's ducking from, cover to cover, shadow to shadow. It was actually the one that stuck out to me the most. That looks really cool. I did see that is a Google Stadia exclusive.
Oh,
yeah. So that seems to be, just you'll only be able to play it there. Then the next game that we saw was Get Packed. It looked more of like a party game. I'm
not interested at all.
Or like it should be like the free game of the month.
Yeah,
for Xbox Live or PlayStation.
I think the premise is that you're just like moving furniture across town or across the street. I don't know.
Exciting stuff.
Not really my thing, but I guess if you're into that type of stuff. But then Division 2 is confirmed to be coming. Obviously, that's not a surprise. Ubisoft has been pretty big with Stadia since the beginning. Did you guys do that trial back in the fall with Assassin's Creed Odyssey on?
No.
They did like a test run on Chrome server or on Chrome browsers, and I signed up for it, but I didn't get selected, so I wasn't able to test it out. But yeah, this was like before Stadia was officially announced, but they were
they're what,
like beta testing it, yeah. And
Okay.
so like a select group, I don't know how many thousands, but basically you got Assassin's Creed Odyssey for free, and then you got to play. You can play on anything, a tablet or a PC or any PC, and then just kind of like report back with your experience if there was any lag and anything like that. But anyway, so yeah, Ubisoft's been pretty tight with Google Stadia since the beginning, so it's no surprise that Division 2 will be there. I know you guys played it, didn't you?
Yeah.
We got it.
Okay. I haven't played Division 2. I played the first one. But yeah, I mean it seems like it's good to go. I know that Destiny 2, which we'll talk about here in a second, is cross progression and then cross, I think, save as well.
Yeah, they said that's
I don't know if Division 2. Did you guys hear it? Is Division 2 that way?
They didn't say.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't mention.
So I don't know if Division 2 is that way. That would be obviously, since it is an older title, especially by the time Stadia launches this fall, it would only make sense that it would be, because I can't imagine somebody dropping 100 or 200 hours in Division 2 and then have to restart when the Stadia version comes out. But yeah, so again, one of the things that I noticed is that they showed games like that, games of service. So like Division 2, Destiny 2, even though Ghost Recon is not out yet, you can assume that game is probably going to follow that mold. Games that people are going to, I think, play elsewhere, but then if they're on a trip, or maybe I was even thinking like if somebody's on the main TV and all you have is your iPad, it'd be an easy way to just like pick up where you left off. So that's cool to see. Then they talked actually about the pricing. So the Stadia Pro is $9.99 a month.
Cheap. Relatively cheap.
Yeah, I was very surprised by that. I was
thinking at least like $14.99.
I was thinking about $15, 15 to 20. But I actually have this article pulled up. It's by Jonathan Dornbush over at IGN. So he kind of breaks down all the details that were in there. So it says Stadia will be available in November, and the only way at launch to access the cloud-based service will be via the Founders Edition. Google will reveal more details in the future about how people can access Stadia in 2020. It'll be available in 14 countries. So where to play Google Stadia? So again, just as I said before, you can play on your desktop or tablet with a Chrome browser. You can play on your TV with a Chromecast Ultra or Google Pixel phones, the 3 and the 3A specifically. Let's go to so Google Stadia Pro subscription details. So it's $9.99 a month. It will get you the highest quality streaming. Mm-hmm. So if you have the Stadia base, which is it's like their free package, you're capped out at 1080 and 60 frames a second, and I think maybe HDR. But with Stadia Pro, you do have access up to 4K, 60 frames, HDR, 5.1 surround sound for your Stadia games. Stadia base, which is not available until 2020, will let you stream games up to 1080p and 60 frames a second. So in addition to the stream quality, Stadia Pro also gives you access to exclusive discounts on games as well as free games similar to Xbox Live or PlayStation Plus. Those free games will be accessible as long as your Pro subscription is active. Again, that's exactly the same as PlayStation Plus. If your subscription lapses, then you lose access to those games until you re-up. And then for a limited time, Stadia Pro will also give players full access to Destiny 2, including the base game, all the previous add-ons, the new expansion, and the annual pass. Again, so if anybody is wanting to play Stadia right off the bat, you do have to get the Founders Pack. I don't think it's going to be open to the public. Like the base version is not going to be available until 2020. They didn't even say when. I don't know if that's a first quarter thing. Maybe they're using the Founders Edition to maybe work out the kinks a little bit more.
Yeah, just doing a slow rollout.
Yeah. But the Founders Edition is $129. If you are interested in that, it comes with a limited edition night blue controller, Chromecast Ultra, which they say normally retails for $70. You have a 3-month subscription to Stadia Pro, a first chance to claim your Stadia name, and then you get 1 3-month buddy pass to give Stadia Pro to a friend. So again, that's $130. That is available now. So if you do, want to get that, you're obviously more than able to. They say spots are limited, so I don't know what the cap is, but if you are interested, I would definitely jump on it sooner than later. If you don't want to do that, you can again get Stadia Base, which is it does say beginning in 2020. Again, not a specific time frame. With Stadia Base, you will be able to buy games via Stadia and then play them on Google's cloud gaming platform with the following features. Again, 1080, 60 frames, stereo sound. You get to buy and keep the games that you want. So again, it is a la carte. So just like, going on PSN or Xbox Live. And then you can play in a Chrome browser on any computer or on your Pixel 3 or 3A phone.
Does it have to be a Pixel phone?
They said to start, it is only Pixel phones.
Okay.
So I
also heard them say like Chrome browser, but I'm guessing that's just for laptops.
Yeah, I think that's only laptops and maybe tablets, iPads. Okay. After that, we saw Destiny 2 Shadowkeep reveal. Did you guys play that Destiny 2 at all? No.
Played the first one.
I have the second one. I probably put 20 hours into it. I never even beat the main campaign. I just kind of fell off of it. I don't know if this is enough to get me back. But yeah, so Destiny 2 Shadowkeep. I know, again, a lot of people are big Destiny 2 fans. So I'm happy that you're happy. They didn't talk about a date as far as even the Google or the Stadia Pro version. But if you go to their website, it does say a November release month. It doesn't even give a date, but it does say November. Then they talked about over 20 publishers and partners. I'll give you the quick rundown. Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Doom Eternal, Doom 2016, Rage 2, The Elder Scrolls Online, and Wolfenstein Young Blood. Again, of course, Destiny 2. Capcom is announced, but they didn't say any games that were coming with it. Again, Get Packed, Grid, Metro Exodus, Drool Thumper. EA is a partner, but no specific games were announced. Farming Simulator 19. Baldur's Gate 3, Power Rangers Battle for the Grid. Rockstar is a partner, but no games announced. Football Manager, Samurai Showdown, Final Fantasy 15, and then the Tomb Raider reboot and the 2 sequels, Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Then you have NBA 2K, Borderlands 3, again, Guilt, which we saw before, Mortal Kombat 11, Darksiders Genesis, which was just announced earlier today. It's not a, did you guys see this? Darksiders Genesis?
No.
So it's not like the other Darksiders where it's like a third-person action adventure. It's more of a top-down Diablo-esque game set in the Darksiders universe. You play as a fifth horse. I was going to say four horsemen.
Making stuff up now.
A fifth horseman of the apocalypse called Strife, and you are charged with protecting humanity from the other 4 horsemen, I think is what it was. But anyway, so that's coming out later this fall. And then, of course, Ubisoft, you have Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Just Dance, Ghost Recon Breakpoint, The Division 2, Trials Rising, and The Crew 2 so far announced. Again, the controller, it's $70. You can get just black, clearly white, and wasabi colors. And then again, if you do get the Founders Pack, you get the limited edition, I believe it was Night Blue, I think it was. But
what's your button layout? Is it like A, B, X, Y? Or?
Yeah, so A, B, X, Y.
Yeah, so A is where... So if you're thinking about it like a PlayStation controller, A is X, circle is B, triangle is Y, and square is X.
So like exactly like the Xbox.
Is that like the Xbox controller?
Yeah. Xbox and Nintendo, I think, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
And then, the controller itself uses built-in Wi-Fi to connect directly to games running in Google's data centers. And then it features a dedicated button to capture footage, just like I'm assuming Xbox, but also PS4. And then another button to access the Google Assistant. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, USB-C port for charging, wired gameplay, and other accessories. So yeah, that's pretty much it. My big question, well, actually I have a couple questions. My big thing is I want to see obviously what Xbox is doing, because they're going to have their... from the leaks that are coming out of that conference is that xCloud is going to be the big, even more than the next generation console itself, is that xCloud is going to be their big focus this year. I don't think that Stadia is going to, at least in our circle, the people that are in tune with the industry and that play games regularly, I don't think that Stadia is going to be anybody's main way to play.
No. I highly doubt that. I don't even know if it would be like the second, maybe third way to play after everybody. They have, it's either Microsoft or Sony consoles, and then usually somebody's picking up a Nintendo.
Well, that's what it made me
second.
think of is like when the Wii was out and then the Xbox 360 and the PS3, most people in our circle, the quote unquote hardcore gamers, they had an Xbox or a PlayStation, and then they had the Wii as like a secondary, for your Nintendo exclusives and things like that. I think this is going to be the same way, that going into even next generation, people are going to have their Xbox or they're going to have their PlayStation. And then if they do, especially with PlayStation, because Xbox is going to have their own Play Anywhere xCloud streaming service. So really with just PlayStation specifically, it's appealing that it's cross-save, that, hey, if I do have... Now, granted, you would have to get both versions of the game, but if you are that big into the Division or into Destiny or whatever else is next, and you can justify paying for 2 copies of the game, maybe, if you do travel a lot, or again, you only have one TV in the house and, it's being used by somebody else, that might make it justifiable. Now, I'm interested to see if like people that don't regularly play games, maybe they just play games on their phone or just play games on their tablet, is the appeal of everything that you get. Because, I mean, really what Google did today essentially was announce a 4K HDR console for $129.
Right.
And so, everything else notwithstanding, is that enough to get the casual person that is not, that's not going to listen to this podcast or doesn't read IGN every day, and maybe they love their 1 or 2 games a year. They love their Madden, they love next Rockstar game and a Call of Duty, and that's all they play for the year. Is that going to be enough that they don't have to pay $1,000 or $500 for, a PC or a console, and then another $500 for a 4K TV? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it going to be enough of a value proposition because I don't think that Google is necessarily going for the same market that Sony and Microsoft are.
Right. But do you think casual players, because if you're playing Assassin's Creed on your phone or tablet, you're going to have to buy one of those controllers.
Right.
I mean, as a casual player looking at that controller and be like, do I really want to drop $80 on this controller just to, when I can play my Words with Friends or whatever, and that's kind of what they do. Well, they're kind of in a weird position where they're not going to really grab a lot of hardcore gamers, because I don't see really hardly any exclusives going to Stadia. There's no...
I don't either.
There's not going to be a big enough install base where publishers are going to risk putting exclusive content on there, at least AAA exclusive content.
I, for one, because I don't typically play on Xbox, I haven't had an Xbox since the early 360 days. And at $10 a month,
it is cheap.
I might just have it just to have it. It's like, it's like it is another subscription service. It's the same reason why I don't cancel HBO, or that I have Hulu and Netflix, and and it's just like
it's another one of those.
It's just it's nice. It's nice that it's there when I want it, because I don't use Hulu every day, and I use Netflix more. But anyway, my point is that it's cheap enough to, if somebody's on the TV, or I'm at work and I can, just pull up my laptop, my work laptop, and just have a controller in my bag.
Right.
And on my lunch break, I can just play for an hour.
Yeah, see, that's cool.
Then that might be, because I don't want to say I don't plan on getting an Xbox, but if I end up staying the way that I am now and just have a PlayStation, I just wish I didn't have to buy 2 copies of the game. I mean, that's a personal problem. But, it is appealing that if I did want to, do that, I can, the barrier to entry is so small now.
Exactly.
It used to be, if you wanted HD, you had to get an HD TV, and then you had to get the console, and then, the games, and you're dropping almost $1,000. Here, again, literally it's $130, and you potentially, depending on your internet, and if everything works as advertised, you have a, up to 4K experience with 0 lag or minimal lag.
I hope so.
That's going to be the big thing.
Yeah, if it's laggy, people are not going to buy it.
But from everything that I heard again, this wasn't a limited test, but in the test run for Assassin's Creed last fall, I didn't hear too many issues. I don't know how they did it. Yeah, I didn't hear too many issues. I'm interested again to see how Xbox handles this. Not handles it, but what their version of this is.
They got something.
Because
something brewing.
If from all accounts, then they from what I understand, they're kind of planning the same thing as that. The cool thing with Xbox is that, if you buy it on the Xbox 2 or whatever it's going to be called, or the Xbox One X, and then they have the X Cloud where you can play on your phone or a tablet or a PC, just like Google Stadia, but you already own it in the Xbox ecosystem. You don't have to pay $60 for another copy, which is very appealing. If the rumors are true and it ends up working out that way. And then Sony, they do have their PlayStation Now, which I have tried. It was okay. There was a lot of latency, so I wouldn't recommend. And granted, this was a couple months ago, but there was, I wouldn't play like a Call of. There's no way you can play Call of Duty or a fighting game on there. But if it's a RPG or like a strategy game, turn-based or something, then that's fine. They did have their partnership with Microsoft that was announced for this issue. But anyway, yeah, you guys have any other thoughts?
Not really. The Stadia, what me and Chase were talking about is, when we're kind of going back to like the value of it, is if we were to kind of sign up and do it, it would be because we're not necessarily smart enough or have enough money to build like a beefy PC.
Right.
And I want to play like those like Total War games because I've never played them before and they always look really cool. Yeah. And like games like that are PC only.
Right.
That would probably be a big reason for me. I don't know how many people that would sway, but people who don't want to build a big PC for gaming, I can see it appealing to them also.
Yeah,
we'll wait and see.
I'm excited. Like I said, $10 a month is just so cheap that it's almost like an impulse buy. You know what I mean? It really is. It's like, I'll try it for a month. And
also, it was really smart for them to put that buddy pass in there because that'll spread the word. If it's a good service, it'll start,
And so I'm interested in it. I'm not going to get the Founders Edition by any means. I want to see how this plays out. I want to see what the other consoles have to offer. I am very intrigued. I am excited that this is kind of the way that things are going, that, cross-play between consoles. I think we talked on the last episode or 2 episodes ago that, Call of Duty, that you can play with anybody on any console online. Between that, play with anybody you want, whenever you want. And you can play anywhere through xCloud and Stadia and anything else coming down the line. That's really exciting. Like I said, I'm excited that that's where this is going.
Yeah, me too.
I just hope it works as advertised. So I am a little bit. I'm hopeful that it will. I'm not hopeful enough to spend $130 for a day one access. I want to see how it plays out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys have any closing thoughts?
No. It's a wait and see approach. I'm sure they'll release more info. They need to get those servers packed full of people before they release.
And the thing is that even they still have the base version, the Stadia base, where again it's just like.
Is that the only difference between the base and the Pro is the resolution?
The streaming quality, and you don't have the discounted access or the free games. I'm assuming every month.
Okay, because I remember them saying something about you still would have to buy.
Yeah, so from what I understand is that you get discounts on new games, and they will, just similar to PlayStation Plus, they will give you free access, free with a $10 subscription, but they will give you free access to older titles. And then you get the 4K streaming, but then the base package is. You don't get, it's obviously not a subscription because you're not paying for it, but you can just buy whatever game you want a la carte, and then you can stream it, wherever you want. But you don't get the discounts, and then you don't get the higher resolution. So really all you need, and if you have an Xbox controller, and you have a game that is Stadia exclusive, ideally pay the $60, and then you can play, if it is a Total War, or whatever, if it's a game that, whatever game might be just exclusive, like that Guilt game, if it's a $40, $30 title, you already have your controller, so you don't need to do that. And then you already have a tablet or a PC, and then you can play it anywhere, so that, really they're giving you the service for free. They're just giving you a little extra if you decide to.
That's cool.
Yeah, if you decide to pay the $10. But that's pretty much it. So what we're going to do, guys, is the next press conference is, what did we say?
Microsoft's
EA
Sunday.
was Saturday.
Oh, EA Play. So we're gonna come back Saturday, probably afternoon or evening. The big title that obviously I think most people want to see is going to be Star Wars. So we're going to, hopefully they'll give us a trailer and an extended gameplay demo for that on Saturday, and then on Sunday evening here on the East Coast or Eastern time zone is Microsoft. So that one is going to be a big one. It's rumored to be about 2 hours, 14 exclusives, talk about xCloud and their next console. I'm excited. That's probably, between that and Square, that's probably my biggest, or my most anticipated, press conferences. So we'll be seeing that. But yeah, so check back on Saturday. Again, if you guys did like this episode, you found it, again, informative, entertaining, please subscribe, youtube.com/SavePointVids. Follow us on all the major platforms, and we will see you guys next time.